teachers to recognize how they had created the foundation for their future growth. We have many people to thank for tonight's program. I will start specific and then end generally. Thank you, Ms. Glacian, tonight for all your pre-organization and management this afternoon, including senior dinner. Special thanks to Ms. Statmauer, who worked so carefully and methodically and meticulously on the preparations for all senior events. A great deal of thanks to Mr. Berger for literally with his team of AV and Ayal and Simon and Zach and Gabe had worked all afternoon in the rain, in difficult conditions, with a lot of tension to make sure that we have perfect sound, and we're very grateful to you. We're very grateful to John and the crew who set up, along with our faculty, in 2 rooms. We were ready and prepared for faculty to make sure that we had 2 rooms set up. And finally, I would like to thank, well, second to finally, I'd like to thank our colleague, Mr. Plotzker, who has jumped from the parade straight to graduation to make sure that every aspect of our operations is executed smoothly and effortlessly and seamlessly. Thank you all. And of course, I'd like to thank myself. Because, all right, you may not know why, I'm really not in the business of self-aggrandizement, but there were a lot of people asking me to cancel tonight's outdoor graduation exercises. In fact, I felt a lot like the captain in The Hunt of Red October when Jonesy was whispering in his ear and thinking that his submarine would be blown up. But here we are celebrating our magnificent moment together in our sensational campus outdoors and the beautiful field and in the Gladys and Sam Zal Halpern Amphitheater. The Gemara in Bava Batra tells us that even when building a new home and entering it with great joy and hopes for the future, we need to always remember the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash. Chazal were unfortunately prescient, prophetic in recognizing that even as we march forward joyously into new chapters of our life, we need to carry with us some of the challenges, the difficulty, and even the sadness that our people have experienced in the past, and unfortunately today experience in this very moment. Whereas we want this graduation to be joyous and celebratory and exciting and scintillating and exhilarating, we also want to make sure that as a Jewish community we come together, we convene to think of those who are in captive, we think of our chayalim who are fighting on many fronts, we think of the brave soul families who are at home, wives and families and mothers and fathers who are waiting for their children to return. We pray for their strength and their fortitude as we go through this difficult period. It gives me great pleasure to invite Maya Bank and Nathan Pedoim to lead us in a parak of Tehillim. Please open your programs. The parak is copied into the program, and we will say the parak responsively. And while we are waiting for Nathan and for Maya to come, it is appropriate for me to recognize and to thank our rabbinic partner, Rabbi Zwickler, who is here tonight to support Rkyhs, JKHA, as the rabbinic leader of his shul and his community.
Ready? Please rise. Mizmor Shir Chanukat Habayit LeDavid. Aru Mincha Adonai Ki Dilatani Fsilo Semachti Oivayli. Please respond. Adonai Elohai Shivati Elecha V'Tirpa'eni. Adonai He'elita Min She'ol Nafshi Chiyitani Miyardi Bor. Zamer l'Adonai Chasida v'hodu l'zecher kodsho. Ki rega ba'apo chaim birtzono ba'erev yalin bechi v'laboker rina. V'ani amarti b'shalvi ba lemot leolam. Adonai birtzonecha ha'emadeta lehariri oz histarta panecha hayiti nivhal. Elecha Adonai ekra ve'el Adonai etchanan. Ma bitza bidami beridati el shachat hayedecha afar hayegid amitecha. Shema Adonai v'chaneni Adonai heye ozer li. Afachta mispedi lamacho li pitachta saki v'ta'azeni simcha. Laman yizamercha chavod velo yidom Adonai Elohai l'olam odecha.
Please be seated. One of my favorite lines from that particular Tehillah, Ba'arev yalin bechi v'labokir rina, we lie down at night, we may be crying, but at dawn there will certainly be joyous singing. It gives me great pleasure when I think of joyous singing to welcome, to deliver the Dvar Torah, Judah Marcus.
Good afternoon, classmates, parents, rabbis and faculty, and guests. This week's parsha starts the fourth sefer of the Torah, called Bamidbar, in the desert. And while it might just seem that that name is just talking about where Bnei Yisrael were at the time, they were in the desert. But its name contains significant meaning that today I'd like to explore and apply to our graduating class from the Rkyhs Yeshiva High School. After a census of the 12 tribes, the second parak describes each of the encampments around the Mishkan and how the four of them and then the Leviim camp between them would move. Parak Bet Pasuk Yud Zayin states, "V'nasa o hamoed, machanei haleviim b'toch hamachanot, kasher yachanu ken yisa'u, ish al yado lediglehem." And the tent of meeting, otherwise known as the Mishkan, shall move midway, halfway through the divisions. As they camp, so they shall travel, each in position by their standards. What's interesting about that pasuk is that within its first phrase, "V'nasa o hamoed," it contains a contradiction of sorts. The Mishkan is traveling, yet it's called by no hamoed. How can the Mishkan be considered a structure when during its movement, the Leviim were physically carrying by hand every single aspect of it? The holiness would seemingly be on pause. The Mishkan would cease to function, seemingly, while the Mishkan is in movement. Yet the pasuk calls it v'nasa o hamoed, and the tent of meeting shall travel. So to answer this seeming contradiction, the Gemara in Zvachim teaches that no, despite the Mishkan being in movement, it retains its holy status. In the language of the Gemara, afal pi shenasa ohel moed hu. Even though it's traveling, it's still called a tent of meeting. The halachic implication was for korbanot. When the Mishkan was in movement, the korbanot that had to be eaten within the Mishkan, could still be eaten because of the Mizbeach. But as we all know, the law about the Mishkan, I'm not going to go do it tomorrow. It's not relevant for me, per se. But what is relevant is that phrase, v'nasa ohel moed, afal pi shenasa ohel moed hu. Because ever since the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash, all of our Jewish community institutions, from our shuls, Batei Midrash, and of course, our schools, are considered mikdashei ma'at, which literally means they're miniature versions of the Beit HaMikdash. And so the comparison is there between Bnei Yisrael and the Mishkan when it was moving to us, when we're leaving our Mikdash Ma'at, our KYHS, our yeshiva, and traveling to our next step in life. Just as when Bnei Yisrael were moving, they could still offer their korbanot, So too when we are leaving this place, Rkyhs, the walls of which we've grown up in, we will take what we've learned, we will take the connections we've had, because those are the manifestations of our connection here. We will take the lessons we've learned into our next journey in lives. For example, some of the lessons that I hope to retain from this Mikdash Ma'at: the power of simple faith in Hashem as learned through the stories of Tanakh. From English and Hebrew classes, the power of language as a means of communication and a commentary to history. And even the skills that I've learned outside of class here: the skills of organization, communication, leadership, and of course, friendship. This lesson of taking what we've learned at this Mikdash Ma'at to our journeys beyond high school also bookends Sefer Bamidbar. When in Parshat Maaseh, each of the encampments of Bnei Yisrael are listed, but they're listed twice, because in the order of the psukim, Vayisu Bnei Yisrael meRamses, v'achanu b'Sukkot, Vayisu meSukkot, v'achanu be'etam. It says that they traveled from Ramses to Sukkot, and then from Sukkot to Etam. Since the Torah never says any extra words, it would have been far simpler to just list them as Ramses, Sukkot, Etam, and so on. Why the repetition? So I learned from Rabbi Earps, who's in the crowd tonight, that the reason it repeats it twice is that when Bnei Yisrael were moving in the Midbar, in their desert, they took what they learned up until then and brought it to the next encampment. A simple list of all the locations wouldn't do justice to the continual learning and growth that Bnei Yisrael experienced throughout their journeys. So too with us. My fellow graduates, we will all be on our different journeys next year after leaving high school. But because we were so ingrained and engrossed in our great Jewish education at our Mikdash Ma'at, we have to take what we learned here and retain it and keep it, even though we will no longer be within the walls of our Mikdash Ma'at. And also, we must continually learn. We must go from encampment to encampment, from stop to stop in our life, and take what we learn with us and keep it for the rest of our lives. And just like Bnei Yisrael in the desert, as we progress through life, may we merit to enter the promised land with Mashiach b'mhera v'yameinu. Thank you.
What a beautiful message, Judah. You can take it with you. It travels with you wherever you go, the holiness you've gained here. Dear graduates, first, a word of gratitude. Thank you for breaking me in and for showing me the ways of the Force. Your class has grown in remarkable ways, and what was once a motley collection of individuals has coalesced into this distinguished, unified group we see here today. And of course, thank you to your faculty, your teachers, for their incredible dedication to your development and growth. We have the greatest faculty around, and I am honored to work with them, just as I know you are honored to learn with them and from them. Nothing I say this evening is going to be a chiddush, a novel idea. You've surely heard everything I have to say from your parents, rebbeim, morot, teachers during your years here at Rkyhs. What I hope to do is to frame the ideas in a way that will help you as you shift from adolescence into adulthood. Your Torah outlook takes shape now within an adult framework, building on but more sophisticated than your elementary approach of the school years. So with that in mind, I'll share with you an excerpt from a midrash. Admittedly, I'm quoting it out of context, but that was first done by Rabbi Dr. Norman Lamb, Zichrono Livracha, the former chancellor of Yeshiva University, so I think I'm in okay company. Tani b'shem Rav Elazar. It was taught in the name of Rav Elazar. Hasayaf v'hasefer nitnu mekorachem min hashamayim. The sword, the sayaf, and the book, the sefer, were presented as a gift from heaven, wrapped up together. The image is startling. Picture in your mind's eye receiving this gift, unwrapping the fine cloth to reveal a Torah scroll, the Sefer, lying side by side with a gleaming sword, the Sayaf. What can we make of this? The dual gift from heaven, the Sefer and the Sayaf, tell us that we are meant to be scholar warriors. Scholar warriors. Your time here has been dedicated, in part, to developing yourselves as students. You learn, you seek, you're curious, you listen, you discern, you infer, you innovate. You have cultivated the habits of lifelong learning. You are scholars. But that is not all you are. Archie Gottesman, the founder of Jubilong, when she spoke to us several weeks ago, called on you to be warriors. And warriors you are. You defend, you stand up, you show up, just as so many of you did at the Celebrate Israel parade last Sunday. So what does it mean to combine the Sefer and the Sayaf into one persona, the persona of the scholar warrior? Scholarship can be passive, but our tradition warns against this when it encourages us to study for the sake of action. Talmud hamevi lidi ma'aseh, a concept that Rabbi Rubin will address in his closing remarks. You, Rkyhs graduates, are not passive scholars. You are warriors too. Scholar warriors don't use violence to achieve their goals, and you are scholar warriors. You engage in conversation, you convince, you make strategic choices, you stand up against hate and evil, and perhaps most importantly, you are warriors through your dugma ishit, your personal example, through your behavior that is guided by your learning. Your stellar character is your greatest weapon. Your character is your sayaf. You act with dignity because you let the Torah teach you how. You engage in kindness because you let the Torah teach you how. You act with modest self-assurance because you let the Torah teach you how. We could not be more proud of you or feel more reassured that the Jewish community and the world are in good hands because they will be your hands. So, dear graduates, go out into the world as scholar warriors who will be rays of light to all who know you. Mazel tov. I have the distinct pleasure of being stuck in between two fantastic people, Judah on one end, and then to deliver your graduation address, the one and only Ella Mordecai. Mazel tov. Beautiful. You didn't hear a word I said.
Good evening, Rabbi Rubin, Rabbi Avishor, rabbis, faculty, family, and friends. My name is Ella Mordecai, and I'm honored to represent the Ray Kushner Yeshiva High School, class of 2024, tonight. I'd like to begin with a question. What do a glittery rainbow headband, a music sheet, and Donnie Bank all have in common? Well, they all appeared in a legendary 2013 video by Inspiring Excellence Productions for the JKHA Rkyhs dinner video. I remember 11 years ago, as a not-so-tiny 7-year-old, when I was part of the student choir that sang for the school dinner. I was very excited because I knew it would be the start of my illustrious singing career under the guidance of Sarah Heusner and her accordion, a career that unfortunately came to its untimely end in 4th grade. But when I sang my heart out in 1st grade for a school that I was barely acquainted with, I had no idea how true the words I'd sung would become. The song reminds us, just know you're not alone, because it's the place we call our home. After 13 years as a student here, home is the best way to describe this place. Our grade has certainly had its ups and downs, starting our freshman year in the heart of COVID behind masks. We definitely did not have an easy time adjusting at first, but with perseverance and countless girls' bonding activities, We are here today, 4 years later, to celebrate our graduation. We have the opportunity to mark our last day as official students of the school that we've spent 1, 4, or 13 years attending, to remember where we came from in preparation for where we're going next. But although it is true that our names are no longer on the attendance lists and our Plus Portals accounts have stopped functioning, even though they never really worked in the first place, we will never truly leave this school. Being at home here means we will always have a connection with the building, teachers, and community that so many of us grew up in. As Winston Churchill once said, we shape our homes and then our homes shape us. As for the building, the walls of Mora Rkyhs' Gan Gimel classroom were my first semblance of home here and will forever be ingrained in my memory. Gan Gimel. The stage in the Epstein-Stein Auditorium will always be the place of our endless class productions from Kindergarten Magic and Kochavei Kushner to Battle of the Bands. The tables in the Yocheved Orbach Dining Hall tell the story of countless pizza bagels with friends and shared chocolate chip challahs on Friday mornings. Whether you're davening in the base with the Ashkenaz minyan or in the sack with the far superior Sephardi minyan, I'm in fact half Sephardi, the RKYHS community is filled with ruach wherever you go. The Naomi Rosenfeld Kehila Center is a place where our grade community has thrived with vibrancy, energy, and connection, just like Naomi Zichrona Levracha would love. We've certainly made many meaningful memories in this place, but the people who have truly cultivated our education and supported our development have been the exceptional teachers. There are so many teachers. Yeah, you can clap. There are so many teachers who have defined our learning both inside and outside of the classroom. Rabbi Greenberg's 5th grade class, accompanied by daily stories, Miss Levinson's hands-on activities to help us bring the textbook to life, epic history videos with Mr. Bryant, and countless other experiences have shaped our time in JKHA and RKYHS. Learning from brilliant Torah minds like Rabbi Hamudot, Mrs. Mintz, and Rabbanit Shoval have inspired me and many others to grow our curiosity and enhance our Jewish pride. Crafting stories about the adventures of Herbert the Chocolate Bucket to learn inexorably ubiquitous vocabulary words in Mrs. Orange's 10th grade class is a type of education you won't get anywhere else. Each class is made up of individuals with unique opinions, goals, and perspectives, students who should be fighting for the highest grade, the most praise, simply to be the best. But in RKYHS, the people who are supposed to be my greatest academic competition are the ones I feel closest to. They are the ones I turn to study with, to seek advice from, and to grow with. It is a community of students who care for and support each other and want to see each other succeed. Not only is there a strong academic community within JKHA RKYHS, but there is a powerful chesed community as well. Our school has always had a dedication to our geographic community in New York and New Jersey, along with our ideological community. Our school's values are made clear with each chesed trip we go on and each Jewish pride event we initiate. But since October 7th, our world has changed and necessitated a shift of priorities that deepens our connection with the country of Israel that we love so much in order to begin to heal. When the outside world tries to invalidate our home, here at JKHA RKYHS, our identity as part of the Jewish nation remains steadfast. Here, we know that we belong, that we are seen, and that our values are true. With such a connection to the building, the teachers, and the community of JKHA RKYHS, it's no wonder that we grapple with the idea of leaving. After so much time in our home, leaving the physical location of the place we grew up in, whether heading to a gap year, college, or another path, can seem daunting. But despite my endless protestations and fruitless pleas to remain here for just one more year, I am now beginning to understand that it's time to go. Leaving high school means that we will have to take more responsibility and make more decisions than we ever thought possible. And to quote Dr. Seuss, yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% guaranteed. At least the odds of success are pretty high, according to our friend Theodore Seuss Geisel. But even when the 1 1/4% happens, we will use the tools we have from our years here at JKHA RKYHS and the support system of our home to overcome any challenge we face. We, the class of 2024, want to express a heartfelt thank you to our parents, siblings, and families who have served as role models for us and shaped the people we are becoming. Similarly, we share who tirelessly give of themselves each year to not only teach us the curriculum, but to instill in us what it means to be a good person, or as our recent 12th grade Poland trip tour guide, Zach, says, to be a mensch. Thank you to this place, the Joseph Kushner and Ray Kushner Yeshiva High School, that has given us so many beautiful memories, lifelong friendships, and taught us what it means to truly be at home. Mazal tov, everyone.
Brand. Oh, there you go. Ethan Braunstein. Samuel Cochamiro. Sean Felderman. Daniel Huppert. Joshua Kirsch. Gabriel Kornfeld. Yarin Krasner. David Leff. Zachary Lerman. Judah Marcus. Jacob Margolin.
Okay. Row number 2, congratulations, you may be seated. Row number 3, please rise.
Nathan Pedawam. Alexander Penzius. Jakob. Jacob Parmelin. Ike Renitz. Is it right? Jacob Sabag. Jonathan Sabag. Sorry about that. Jacob Schnipper. Eitan Schnurr. Robert Septon. Michael Shankman. Chandler Shrieky. Craig Silbiger. Sam Steiner. Adam Strub. Samuel Tannenberg. Ellie Titsona. Gal Usi. Rotem Usi. All good. Kobe Yolen. Samuel Zinstein.
Congratulations, row number 3. Please be seated. Not for long. Graduates, please rise. Place your tassels on the right side of your cap. Just follow instructions. Good. Don't move it. Now move your tassels to the left side of your cap. You are officially graduates of the Rkyhs Yeshiva High School. You are now you are now alumni. And we look forward to hearing about all of your wonderful achievements over the years, starting from right now. Now, graduates, I need your attention. Shh. Shh. Okay. Okay, we got it. I need your attention. We thank KPAC and the Alumni Association for the gifts they received at senior dinner, a travel bag inspiring excellence for your toiletries, it's empty, and a beautiful Koren Talpiot Situr, class of 2024. Please use it well. And if it gets to the point that it gets used out and you need to put it in Shemot, we will gladly buy you a new one. Now, graduates, please turn around and face the audience. First, we ask you to, graduates, please, okay, well, the whistles, just give me a moment, please. Graduates, please thank your faculty, Rkyhs and more faculty, for inspiring, empowering, and engaging you throughout the years of your study in Rkyhs and JKHA. Please give them a round of applause. Graduates, please thank your parents and your grandparents and your families for supporting you unconditionally with love and cherishing you and guiding you and giving you the resources for your success in the future years. Graduates, please turn around and please sit down. We have a special opportunity to recognize and to depart with a sense, a wistful sense, foreboding, I would say, with our Mazinka families, those children who are families tonight who are graduating their last child from Rkyhs. We ask all of those Mazinka families and their children, even the alumni, to please stand so we can recognize them for their many years of being part of our amazing JKHA, Rkyhs community. We will miss you. The journey has been splendid and inspirational, and we will always remember you. For those who follow us on Instagram, you may have noticed today that we posted the families and the alumni of all families that graduated through the years. You should know that although every year we graduate a new class, your class is special, like every class. Each one of you matters. Each one of you will make a difference. Each one of you has made a difference, and you will carry the Rkyhs experience with you wherever you go. And because we know that the journey of Rkyhs graduates is also one which is full of meaningful lessons and reflections that could impact you in your life, we invite a 10th year anniversarian speaker to come back to Rkyhs, speak about what was life like in the last 10 years, what are the messages of the mission, and how you can gain from that broader perspective. And it gives me great pleasure to invite to this stage an exceptional member of the class of 2014, Jeremy Schachter.
I have to start by saying I am objectively not old. I don't feel old. But Ella, when you were 7 singing the graduation song, I was a senior singing the same graduation song. So I felt a little old when you said that. Before I begin, I want to give a quick thank you to my wife, who is in the audience, Orly. Easily the most important piece of the last 10 years of my life, and also helped me write a ton of this speech, so thank you, Orly. Okay, I'll get to it because I know you're all sweating. Hello, class of 2024. My name is Jeremy Schechter, and I'm a Kushner graduate from the class of 2014. I want to first congratulate you all on this incredibly exciting occasion. It's truly an honor to be a small piece of your very special night. The 10-year graduation speaker happens to be the only part of my graduation that I remember. I don't remember what exactly they said, but I remember their presence and participation and thinking it would be really cool one day to be up here giving that speech. So this is very special for me. When Rabbi Rubin called to ask me to speak tonight, I was genuinely speechless. That's mostly because I was wondering how many of my classmates he asked before he got to me, but I am still flattered nonetheless. Rabbi Rubin did say something to me on that call, though, that gave me the jumping off point for pretty much everything I want to share with you tonight. He said, "You didn't take the straight path." And I had never really thought of my last 10 years that way. On the surface, the first few decisions I made after graduating were fairly routine and far from groundbreaking. I spent a year in Israel studying at Rkyhs, and then went to the University of Michigan for my freshman year before transferring to Penn for the last 3. Which is a cheat code, by the way, for any of you who are still interested in Ivy Leagues. But to those around me, my Israel decision seemed like the wrong fit socially, my college decision, the wrong fit religiously, my decision to transfer, an uncommon one, and my first job out of college. Let's just say I wasn't trying to be a doctor or a lawyer. Everyone thought they knew what the best path was for me. But to me, those decisions never felt like the crooked path because I was just doing me. And that's the first message I want to get across to you graduating seniors tonight. Do your thing. You're going to have lots of people in your life telling you what's best for you. And of course, sometimes it's easier to just run with the pack. But at the end of the day, you need to do what feels right to you. Otherwise, you won't feel satisfied. Now, that's not to say don't seek advice. Advice from people who care about you is part of what helps you decide what's best for you. Your family, your friends, your mentors, their advice matters and is important. But ultimately, it's up to you to make the best decisions for you. That mantra applies to pretty much anything. What to study in college, who you choose to spend your time with, should I go to this party or not? When push comes to shove, the strongest voice guiding your decisions should always be your own. Once you learn to follow your own voice, it's important to learn how to advocate for yourself. And that's message number 2 I'd like to impart to you tonight. A harsh reality I've learned in post-high school life is that outside of your parents, you are no one's number 1 priority. Sorry, I know that sounds harsh. Everyone is living their own little universe where every daily action is centered around them. And that's okay. That's perfectly natural. But that's why you have to be your own number 1 priority. If you don't advocate for yourself, no one is going to do it for you. I'll give you an example. I was searching for jobs during the pandemic and got frustrated feeling like no one was paying attention to my applications. One day I came across a job that I was really interested in, but maybe not entirely qualified for. So I opened my cover letter like this. I may not have the job experience you're looking for. I may not have the years of experience you're looking for. Here's why I think you should hire me anyway. And I got the job and worked hard to prove that I was right and they were right for taking a chance on me. So learn how to stand up for yourself and make a case on your behalf. That could be with a boss who you think should give you a promotion, or it could be with a classmate or peer who doesn't see eye to eye with you on everything. It's not that people are out to get you. They're not. It's just that they've got their own life going on, and it would be impossible for them to be in your shoes. So when it's necessary, help others understand where you're coming from. Once you learn to do you and advocate for yourself, the final message I'd like to leave you with is to be proud of who you are and what you do. Be proud as a person, as a friend, as a worker, and most importantly, as a Jew. It's incredibly easy once you're outside the comforts of Kushner to hide who you are, and even easier to simply not display proudly who you are. As I'm sure you're all aware, there are plenty of people in the world who will feel a certain way about you, whether you're proud of being Jewish or not. And as I mentioned, if you won't stand up for yourself, no one else will. Something else I've learned since high school is that while it feels like there is so much unfounded hatred and anti-Semitism in the world, most people I've encountered approach others with an open mind. I found that people appreciate those who are genuine and true to themselves. If you're a good person, the more confident you are in your identity and heritage, the more respect you'll get for it. And that will reflect not only on yourself, but on the entire Jewish people. And on top of that, many will find your Judaism interesting. We have such rich culture, community, and traditions that many people find fascinating, and you shouldn't shy away from sharing with others what that experience is like for you. My wife and I hosted coworkers of mine for a Shabbat dinner, and all they could say for weeks after was, when are we doing Shabbat dinner again? So be proud to be Jewish. The hateful voices out there are a loud minority, and you have the ability to impact the opinions of the silent majority. I think it's very fitting the graduation season typically coincides with the holiday of Shavuot, which in some ways marks the culmination of the Jewish development and learning process. We got to the end goal, much like for all of you tonight. But it also marks the beginning of the living process, taking the values that you're given and have learned and actually going out and living by them. I know from personal experience that Kushner taught me the values I've described today: independence, advocacy, and pride. And now is the time for all of you to go out and put those values to use in your own way and on your own path. I want to leave you with one final thought. This is a very special place. The teachers, the faculty, the friends, these are the people who know you best and can help you be the best version of yourself. So keep them close. The bonds you formed here are ones that can't be replaced. Thank you and congratulations.
I knew Jeremy would be profound and would leave us all with messages that we can reflect upon and take with us. This far exceeded my expectations. This is a sensational talk. All of you in the audience should take these messages, whether you're graduating or you're post-graduation, and take and learn from his life lesson, which he knew from the very beginning. I have two comments, though. One is that I'm sorry you don't remember anything else that was said at the graduation. That did not feel very good going down, but if you want, I still have my notes. I'm happy to review them with you. The second, and here I am perhaps dipping into domestic territory, and I apologize in advance. I think when you transferred to Penn, you met Orly. Yes, so that needed to be mentioned. Please, Orly, sorry. I hope that tonight you're okay when you get home. If not. Jeremy was on the baseball team when he was at Rkyhs, a star baseball player, which gives me great excitement to share with you that the Rkyhs varsity baseball team will be in the semifinals this Sunday night at 7 p.m. at Randall's Island. It will be a great game, and we are looking forward to going on to the next round after beating SAR. And we are once again in the spring mode of championship season after sleeping a little bit through the winter, and we are thrilled to share that we are in the championship. The varsity soccer championship team will be playing Sunday at 2 p.m. in Bergen County at Frisch. And we are really excited to see us play with the heart, the tenacity, the perseverance, the teamwork that our school is known for, and I am very excited to be there as we lift up that championship trophy. Many don't recognize the importance and the significance and the foundational support of the board of the school, who operates with governance that is defined and informed by integrity, looking always towards the priority for students, maintaining the fidelity and loyalty to the mission of the school. The board, under the brilliant and consistent and tireless leadership of co-presidents Sandy Steiner and Jeremy Halpern, have given us the resources, provided wisdom, expand our thinking. They allow our school, our professionals to grow and to seek out educational horizons and to partner with us to cultivate the strengths of every single student in the school. When we were just recently almost accredited as we went through the accreditation process from NJIS, and our accreditation will be coming officially in June. I'm not allowed to announce that, that's why I said almost. One of the highlights of the accreditation report is the strength and the honesty and the commitment of the board led by our co-presidents. And with that in mind, in that introduction, I am honored to introduce co-president Sandy Steiner to address this audience.
Rabbis, esteemed faculty, windier up here than I thought, dedicated staff, proud parents, cherished family members, and most importantly, our amazing graduates of the class of 2024. Today is a day of celebration, reflection, and anticipation, a day that marks the culmination of years of hard work, growth, and achievements. I stand here today not only as a proud co-president of the board of JKHA Rkyhs, along with my amazing co-president Jeremy Halpern, but also as a proud parent of one of today's graduates. To our exceptional faculty and staff at the Rkyhs Yeshiva High School, I extend our deepest appreciation. You have not only imparted knowledge in subjects like math, science, English, Hebrew, Judaics, art, and history, but you have also played a crucial role in shaping the character of our graduates. You have guided them, supported them, and cared for them throughout their school journey. Your dedication and passion have created an environment where students feel valued, challenged, and inspired. Thank you for all that you do. To our administration, whose tireless efforts ensure the smooth operation of our school, you've provided the foundation upon which our educational community thrives. Your leadership and vision have cultivated a school culture that emphasizes excellence, inclusivity, respect, and a strong commitment to Torah, mitzvot, and Israel. We are deeply grateful for your unwavering commitment to our students' success and well-being. I would also like to recognize our amazing coaches and the leaders of our many clubs, teams, and co-curriculars who have been instrumental in nurturing the talents and skills of our students. Through countless hours of practice and competition, you have taught them the value of teamwork, dedication, and perseverance, while providing opportunities for bonding and personal growth. These experiences have deeply enriched our students' lives. Fellow parents of the class of 2024, we have shared in this journey together. We've sat together at plays, cheered on sports teams, and experienced countless moments and milestones together. These shared experiences have strengthened our community and created lasting memories that we will always cherish. Graduates, as you stand on the brink of a new chapter in your lives, remember the lessons you've learned here at Kushner High School. You've been equipped not only with academic knowledge, but with the values of integrity, compassion, and resilience. These will be your guiding stars as you navigate the world beyond these halls. Carry the Jewish strength and pride that you have cultivated here out into the world. This foundation will empower you to face challenges with courage and to contribute positively wherever your next steps take you. As you move forward, know that learning does not end with graduation. Embrace every opportunity to grow, to challenge yourselves, and to make a positive impact. The world is ever changing, and it needs your innovative minds, your compassionate hearts, and your courageous spirits. Keep striving to be the best versions of yourselves. Never forget that the Rkyhs Yeshiva High School is and always will be home for you. No matter where life takes you, our school community is here for you. Return to it when you seek encouragement, when you want to share your accomplishments, or when you simply want to feel the warmth of familiar support. Take your memories of your years here at Kushner with you wherever you go. Continue to dream big, work hard, and be kind. The world is waiting for you, and I know you will make us all proud. Congratulations, class of 2024. May your journey ahead be filled with success, happiness, and fulfillment. Thank you.
Thank you for the important and penetrating message, and one that brings together the parent, board, and faculty and student community together with these shared values. Okay, there you go. I agree with Jeremy. I think that the majority of our fellow citizens in the United States are open-minded, intellectually honest, and seek truth and try to understand nuance. But nevertheless, the college campuses today are rife with very minority voices that are insidious, nefarious. They are full of hate and sometimes promulgate evil. Whereas we know that ultimately goodness will always prevail, we're at a crossroads in life where this class, the class of 2024, is entering a world in which is unprecedented for the adult community, and we are turning to you to be of reason, of intelligence, of deliberate support for the truth and the ideals of Judaism and for the support of the United States of America. And it's for that reason tonight we added a component of graduation, and we called it a call to courage on the college campus. There will be an opportunity for every one of you to find a way to represent, to demonstrate your pride in Judaism, your identity wherever you go, and to change the world one student at a time. And it gives me great pleasure to invite Samuel Colchemiro to address our class, Call to Courage on the College Campus by Colchemiro. That's 5.
It's always nice to end with alliteration from Rabbi Rubin, and it's an honor that my name got to be part of it, so thank you. Class of 2024, graduation is a time of celebration. Celebration of years of learning, of friendships, of successes, memories, and aspirations. We deserve the right to enjoy that celebration as every Kushner graduating class has. And yet, for us, this year is a little bit different. Our celebration is partially masked by a shroud of despondency, mourning the ongoing tragedy of October 7th. At the same time that we as students consider the next stage of our lives and the excitement that that entails, we must also determine the role we wish to play in Jewish engagement, activism, and Israel advocacy on campus. How should we as students, modern Orthodox day school graduates, interact with our colleges, employers, and social communities? Do we avoid conversation about our alignment with Israel and our passion for Zionist aspirations? Do we shield the love for Israel instilled in us since our earliest days of kindergarten, when we proudly stood for the Israeli flag in Gan Aleph, Bet, and Gimel, pledging our loyalty to the eternal home of the Jewish people? Do we choose not to disclose where we studied for a year, when many of us returned to campus after an uplifting year studying Torah in the very hub of Torah study? These are the types of questions students of 18 or 19 years of age should never have to grapple with. In an era where campuses preach inclusivity and tolerance, students quickly learn that Judaism and Zionism have not made their way into the silo of acceptance and progressivism erected on secular college campuses. I know this presents as a rather bleak assessment of the condition plaguing higher education today. The good news is that as students, we actually have the capacity to be a part of a meaningful solution to this pernicious culture. Modern Orthodoxy at its core is about maintaining a strong commitment to Jewish religious practice and cultural identity while engaging with broader society. It's a tremendously outward-looking political philosophy. As we head to college, we will be the kids that non-Jewish students look to represent the whole of the Jewish people and Israel. That's a significant responsibility to shoulder, but it's a responsibility that we should own with pride, emerging from Kushner. We are the students that are amply equipped to engage. A Jewish day school education is actually a rare privilege. Within the Jewish community, only a tiny percentage of students actually learn the way we have. We know the history of Israel. We fully comprehend what a free Palestine from the river to the sea would actually look like for our friends and family in Israel. We know what has happened historically in the absence of a Jewish homeland, when anti-Semitism festers unchecked. And we've seen in the last year the price students on college campuses pay when Jewish voices and perspectives are not sufficiently amplified or considered. So the question remains, what will we do with that knowledge? Many of us have just come back from a meaningful week in Poland, witnessing the result of an anti-Semitic call to make Europe Judenrein, or Jew-free. Letting anti-Semitism on college campuses force us to retreat into our own safe spaces is in effect reproducing the exact same ideology. We cannot disengage from our positions of influence and significance in the education system. We have the responsibility to utilize our nuanced appreciation of both the religious and the secular as modern Orthodox yeshiva graduates to effect meaningful change on our future campuses and in our future workplaces. Not every student is going to debate detractors and call out anti-Semitism publicly, making Israel advocacy the core of their college experience. But there's not only one way to support Israel. In the aftermath of October 7th, the Jewish communities of college campuses were unified in a way we haven't seen them in years. Simply engaging with the Jewish community in a meaningful way projects a unified and strong Jewish voice and reinforces the resilience of our community as a whole. If you aren't the type of student to pursue activism in a front-facing way, that doesn't mean you're not part of the solution. Find your way to contribute. Pick a single student in one of your classes to talk to about Israel. Attend an APAC on campus meeting to work with other engaged students to assemble materials and plan events. If there's one thing we've learned since October 7th, it's that college campuses need Jewish communities that aren't just strong internally, but that turn outward to the rest of their universities to educate and engage with others. That's precisely what a modern Orthodox education has equipped us to do. Find your place in the fight for Israel, and we will slowly change the culture of universities. Following this philosophy, our high school graduation isn't just a celebration. It represents our transition from Jewish day school education into Jewish day school educators. For the past 4+ years, our teachers and faculty have constructed for us a strong foundation in Jewish values, history, and cultural pride. Now, it is upon us to stand for our values and continue the legacy of Jewish exceptionalism into the 21st century. As Rav Kook famously said, "I don't speak because I have the power to speak. I speak because I don't have the power to remain silent." And we will not remain silent. Congratulations to the class of 2024. Now we can celebrate.
You know, your university is going to be very fortunate to have you and count them. Count yourself as a member of their student body. Samuel, I know that you will inspire all of your campus like you've inspired us today. In fact, I know that all of our students will follow the charge with everyone having an oar in the water and each person being unapologetically Jewish, Zionist, religious, proud Jews. And Samuel, that's the message that we are going to leave our RKYHS class of 2024 when they walk out this door. So thank you. I have a brief message in my concluding remarks. It's the same message I gave in 2014. Just joking. And one of you will come back in 2034 and say, I have no idea what was said at my graduation. So bear with me as I know the sobering truth of speaking to an audience. Last week's parsha started with an awkward phrase, Im b'chukotai telechu. Loosely translated, it means that you should go with the precepts of Torah. One cannot go with precepts and policies and mitzvot. One has to perform them. But the Torah was giving us a very poignant and very personal message. The core component of Judaism of your Torah and mitzvot is not something which is outside of you. It is not an afterthought or adjunct to your personalities. It is who you are as a person and how you see the world and how you understand how to impact and respond to it. As the pasuk in Mishlei says, B'chol darchecha de'ehu, you need to know your commitment and your place within the greater Jewish world and your loyalty to Torah and mitzvot everywhere you go. So m'chukotai telechu is when you go on the road, when you're no longer preserved and isolated and protected in the secluded places of your home and families and community, that's when you begin to manifest and express in meaningful ways the true core of your identities. And to quote Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, for anyone over 40, you may have heard of them, you who are on the road must have a code you try to live by. They were right, and that is B'chol darchecha de'ehu. Homiletically, Parshat Bechukotai ends the book of Vayikra. The next parsha is B'midbar. I think that the juxtaposition has meaning. When you go to the unknown, to the desert which is unpredictable and sometimes unforgiving, you will need to find your Har Sinai, your oasis, your man, and your rock of strength. The journey can be fraught with complications and contradictions. It's complex and it's complicated. But you have the support of your family, the values of your parents and grandparents to guide you, and the deep and profound educational experiences, both formal and informal, Judaic and general studies from your teachers that will be the voice in your ear so that you can say, Uvelechtecha v'derech, when you go on the road, you will make us proud and the road will be yours. Congratulations, class of 2024. Before we conclude with Hatikva, a few public service announcements. First, we were hedging today. Well, I had squarely put myself in charge of weather